I want to be able to instill the belief necessary to start. Because if you don't have belief, it's so hard to start.
When I'm inconsistent, I don't feel I'm outside of alignment. Being inconsistent is outside of alignment for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. What was it? The 3 major parts of business? Most important
Parts of business.
parts of business. Today, for episode number 570, another milestone.
Oh, yeah?
Why clarity is always step 1.
Do you want me to set this up?
Well, I'll set it up, then I'll hass it to you. You can set it up, and then we'll spike it down.
You'll hass it to me.
I'll hass it to you. Today, we try to aim for valuable episodes, but I'm going to give you a warning now. I don't know what's going to happen today. No. It's been a good day. Alan and I have been doing a lot of business stuff in the studio.
For sure.
So we were talking earlier about clients of ours and people that we're working with, and we came to the understanding that the people who are struggling the most in terms of not only their PPT, but in terms of meeting their potential, really, are the people who have the least amount of clarity.
Yep.
And I don't think that that's a coincidence.
It's not.
It makes total sense. If you don't know exactly where you want to go, then you don't know exactly what to do. If you know where you want to go, then you kind of sort of know what you want to do. You know the direction you want to move. If you're uncertain of what you want your future to look like, how do you reverse engineer that?
Right.
Right?
So let's do this. Imagine you're out at sea and you're stranded at sea. And you're just drifting around with the tide, hoping to land amongst an island. You ever see the movie Castaway?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Yeah.
So he was on a FedEx plane.
My nightmare.
Yeah.
That whole thing is my nightmare.
That whole thing is Kevin's nightmare. Wow, okay. And basically the plane crashed in the ocean and he was stranded for a long time and he washed up on an island. I think that that's what a lot of people do in their life. I think that they are kind of lost and they kind of just drift around with the tides of different things. Whereas if you are the captain of a ship and and you have a compass that points north and you're trying to go north and you know what north is, you actually have direction. And the tides, whether there's storms or calm seas, you're still going to head in that same direction. And I do think that that's kind of an analogy for life. If you feel lost, if you feel like you're just drifting around, you most likely lack clarity on where you want to go. Whenever I'm coaching someone, and I did this with one of my clients last night, I said there's 4 things I'm looking for. Number 1, I want to understand your past. In other words, how did your past condition you? Every single one of us have these things. What we say, what we think, what we do, what we feel, and then who we believe we are. Okay? So you have a past that has conditioned you up to this point. You have a present, which is where you are right now, who you are right now. And then you have where you want to go. And that's what we're talking about, clarity. How clear are you on that versus where you're already headed? If you and I made no changes to what we say, think, do, feel, and believe, no changes, we're already headed somewhere, right? And this is why the good analogy of this is if you're flying from Boston to LA and the nose of the plane on the runway is 1% off, you're going to end up 150 miles off course. Jim Rohn has a great quote about this. He says, in 5 years from today, you will arrive. The only question is where. And more importantly, who will you be when you arrive? You're going to end up in 2 locations, one of 2 locations. You're either going to end up in a well-designed location or an undesigned location. And that's what this episode's really about.
It's interesting, too, because it's not just clarity of location or clarity of the place you want to end up. There's so many things that you have to be clear of along the way.
Right.
Like, I think one thing that people don't talk about is the clarity of your alignment. Like we've talked about this before. When we look back, one of the reasons we regret some of the things we've done in our past is because it wasn't as aligned as we thought it was.
Exactly.
How clear are you on your alignment, on your values, on your morals, on your beliefs?
Right.
That's one thing. Another thing, how clear are you on what's actually possible for you with your current belief or your current level of belief or your current limiting beliefs or your current what's possible for you with your current habits.
Right.
How clear are you in that? I think a lot of people talk about clarity in terms of what you want out of life,
Right.
but I don't think a lot of people are as clear as they think they are on what they're actually doing today.
Right.
Because you can only really, when I told you, okay, you know what, Taryn and I watched this documentary on something, and it really inspired me to understand that I really need to make more money if I want to have the impact, if I really want to have that impact.
Right.
$1 billion.
Right.
Everything I do, that clarity changes everything for me.
Everything.
Everything.
Everything you say and don't say,
Yeah.
do and don't do, think and don't think, feel and don't feel is now different.
Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why goal setting is so important. And even if I don't get the billion, I'll get way more than I would have if I just said, oh, I want to be financially free.
Exactly.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting. And it's such a cliche. Like, clarity is first. Clarity is the most important thing. Without clarity, it doesn't, you don't know where you're going to end up. But it's like, there's layers to that.
100%. You have to be clear on 4 main things. Let's do buckets. Emilia always tells me that people need buckets. And she thinks that I think in a very structured way that can help a lot of people, which I really appreciate. So 4 buckets. How clear are you on your long-term vision? That's the first bucket. Okay. Second, how clear are you on your short-term goals? In other words, in 2021, how clear are you on the top 3 goals that you intend to achieve in 2021? Okay. That's number 2. Number 3, how clear are you on your core values? In other words, what you value most in this world. Persons, places, things, and ideas. One example of that could be consistency is a core value for me. When I'm inconsistent, I don't feel I'm outside of alignment. Being inconsistent is outside of alignment for me, okay? So again, core vision, which is your long-term vision. Goals, short-term goals, 1 year. Core values. Okay, now core beliefs. Core beliefs is like, what do you believe in so deeply? For me, one of my core beliefs is that anyone can grow and contribute at a greater level, the next level, than they are right now. Anyone. Whether or not they will or not is a different story. If you're clear on those 4 things, you are going to have so much goddamn direction. Everything you say and don't say, think and don't think, feel and don't feel, do and don't do will be completely different than someone who's just chasing what's fun and easy.
And I think it really helps you be aligned.
Right.
I do think that, like, looking back on all the conversations and the coaching calls and the masterminds and the meetups and the events we've gone to, all of that, the podcast interviews, being interviewed, one of the things that really seems to be lacking is clarity, and I wonder how connected to belief it is.
Super connected.
Right? You're not going to have clarity of what's possible for you if you don't think that it's possible for you.
It's almost like you have to set a vision that you don't believe in yet.
But how do you even do it?
I know. I don't know. This is a better question for you, because I was on the phone with 2 clients yesterday, and both of them struggle with self-belief. I asked them the 3 questions, right? So they're podcasters, and I asked them one question: What are you the best at? What are you better than? What can you help other people with more than what I can help them with? I'm trying to help them figure out their own unique flavor of ice cream. Okay, we're all selling personal development, but it's all different. And one of them, their heroes. The first question was, "Who are your heroes?" One of them said Brendon Burchard. One of them said Brene Brown. Okay, and I was coaching these 2 people at the same time. Okay, I was like, excellent. What can you both do better at in this industry than Brene Brown and Brendon Burchard? And I already knew the answer, in my opinion, but I wanted to hear theirs. They're incredible moms. Okay? And I said, I can spend the rest of my life mastering personal development and still be worse than both of you at helping someone be a better mother. Why? Because I'm not a mother. Right? And so stay there. That can be your unique flavor of ice cream. Now, that's why people are going to come to you, is you can go help moms. You can genuinely help moms more than anyone else. So anyways, I'm getting to the belief part. Now I said, how from 0 to 10, how bad do you want to be the Brendan Burchard or Brene Brown version of helping other people be more successful at being mothers? And they said 10 out of 10, both of them. Okay. How much do you believe that's possible? 10 out of 10. How much do you believe it's possible for you? Both of them had hesitation. One said 9.5. The other one said, honestly, it's like a 4. And then I said, how much do you believe it'll be worth? All the time, energy, money, hard work. They said 10 out of 10. So it's interesting because they do have clarity on what they want to an extent. What they struggle with is self-belief that it's possible for them. And it's in my head, it's like Brene Brown and Brendan Burchard did it. Why can they do it and you can't? It makes no sense to me. Of course, if you did what they did, you'd be able to do it. Like, to me, that just makes sense. But I literally said, Brendan Burchard grew up in abject poverty. He had a head injury at 19, and he was told his brain was broken and that it wouldn't work. And it's like, there's no reason why you can't do what he accomplished if you put in the same amount of effort and you stayed in your lane of being a mom. Not your lane, but like you stayed in your genius zone. And that's what I got them to realize. And I told both of them, Kev, and just for everyone listening, this is 2 people that Kevin and I both coach. I said, honestly, I don't know if I can help you with the self-belief thing. You got to talk to Kevin about self-belief. I know he's helping you with the podcasting stuff. Ask him how he built self-belief, because I just think I have that, and I don't know how to help you guys with that.
It's interesting because it's like, I think everybody has an advantage somewhere. You know what I mean? Everybody's better than me at something.
For sure.
Like,
Everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah.
If you're watching this or listening, there is something that you would blow me out of the water in.
Literally.
And there's more than something. There's many things.
Many things.
If you're a parent, you're probably way better at those things than I am. You are.
Of course.
Right? I may be, again, but you listen to us because we're podcasters. So
Right.
that's like, that's the thing that you see. Like, you don't see me doing anything else, which I'm probably not great at.
Right.
You know, it's very interesting.
Didn't see me changing my oil outside the gym the other day?
Changing the oil?
Not changing my oil,
Adding
but adding oil.
the
Yeah.
oil. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, how can you get clarity? If somebody, I think you've always been really good at this. If somebody's listening to this right now, they're not working with us, they're not in group coaching. It's just them right now. They're early in their journey and they're thinking, you know what? I know I want to be more successful. I know I want to get to the next level. But what do I really want out of life? And before you answer, one of the reasons it's so important is because your necessity is way higher. If I wasn't clear on who I wanted to be, I could just hang out.
Of course.
And I might think, like, why isn't this fulfilling me? Like, why don't I feel good about myself? It's because maybe internally, you know, you're not as aligned as you could be. You just don't know why yet. So how does somebody, what are the questions they can ask themselves? What resources can they go to? Like, how does somebody find clarity if they don't have somebody in their corner that's coaching them?
You have to picture a pen like a magic wand. So imagine your pen is a wand, and if you've seen Harry Potter, use that visual reference. And you're writing down things that you want out of life. You have to, the reason why I call it a magic wand is because you have to write it down before you'll believe you can get it. If you struggle with self-belief.
Yeah.
And then once you, basically, here's what you have to do. And this is why I used to ask the genie question all the time. If you rubbed a lamp and a genie popped out, and you could have anything in the world, you have 3 wishes.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this or listening to this, it's obvious that you want to get to the next level of your life. We can help you get there faster.
In 3 months from today, your life can look completely different. Here's how. Group coaching. Here's what you're going to get. So you're going to get bi-weekly calls with Kevin and myself. You're going to be on a team of 10 like-minded, growth-oriented individuals. You're also going to be in a WhatsApp chat with Kevin and I and the entire team, 24/7 access to chat. Also, you're going to get bi-weekly progress reports and peak performance tracking.
Guys, this is a great opportunity for those who can't afford one-on-one coaching with Alan and myself. We have helped dozens and dozens of people get to the next level at this point. Go to nextleveluniverse.com, click group coaching, or find the link in the show notes.
Talk to you soon. You could have anything in the world. What would you wish for and why? That's who you actually want to be. That's what you actually want. The only reason you're not working towards that is because on some level, whether you like me saying this or not, you don't believe it's possible for you.
What are your 3?
What would I want?
I feel like mine are changing a little bit.
I intend to bring personal development to the entire world for a price point that this is what touches my heart at the deepest level. We talk about equal opportunity, but it's not. If I didn't have financial aid, I wouldn't have been able to get the education I got. And I think that equal opportunity it doesn't mean everyone's equal. It means that everyone has a chance. I want everyone to have a chance. We all have different. Einstein has that great quote about, like, if you judge a fish on how well it climbs a tree, the fish will spend its whole life thinking it's dumb. It's just not meant to climb trees, right? That's like, me trying to play basketball against LeBron James. That's not my genius zone. I'm going to lose. I can practice my whole life and lose. So here's what I would say. What are my 3? I have one big one, and then everything else falls under that. And my one big one is technically my purpose prayer, but we won't get into that. It's this. I want everyone, no matter who you are or where you are, to at least have access to the knowledge and community and mentors you need to succeed. And that's why our mission statement is what it is because you can literally live in India right now. It's actually funny, man, and I won't talk about me for the rest of this episode, I promise, but I won an award back in college, and I found this out recently when I was talking to Emilia. It was a Strage innovation competition. It was a business competition, and we created a mock business. It was a course. We won, and it was an education company that it was like a Netflix education company for India because a lot of them don't have access to the education that they need. A lot of people can't even read and write, And so I want to bring personal development to the entire globe. That's my one wish. Because to me, there's 2 root causes of suffering in the world. There's ignorance and there's apathy. Ignorance is not knowing any better, which means you're missing knowledge, or apathy, which means you don't care enough. But if you're out there right now and you care deeply and you want to learn, I want to make sure we're there for you. And
very, very clear.
Yeah.
Very clear.
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
Very clear. And interesting, because for me, I'm not as clear. Like, I want to be the best podcaster, the best. Now I'm breaking it into like health, wealth, and love. Like, I want to be the best husband and father possible.
Yep.
I want to be the best speaker and podcaster. And I want to make enough money to change the world. Like, I want to make enough money where I can genuinely impact people on a financial level too.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm leaning. But I also want to be like in the best shape I could be. It's interesting.
So let's do this. So if you're out there listening, I'm going to do this to Kevin, with Kevin, not to Kevin. But I want you to do it for yourself. At the end of the day, Kevin and I statistically, we're on the higher end of clarity, genuinely.
Yeah. I would say
And
so.
That's why we feel less lost. Even when the economy changes and other things change, we don't change that much because we have a lot of clarity, right?
What we're going for didn't move. The way to get there just changed a little bit.
Exactly. And we had to plant our flag on the moon in our own belief long before we got there. And that was a JFK thing.
We're still not there.
Well, I don't mean you and me.
No,
I mean actually
JFK
with the moon thing.
We did get to the
Yeah.
moon.
Yeah.
Some people
don't believe still
it,
doubt it.
Yeah,
But
I think.
yeah. All right, so here we go. So the 4 buckets. And this is not to be confused with the 5 buckets.
Yeah, we got a lot of buckets.
Yeah, we do. Number 1 for Kevin. What is your grand vision? In try to sum it up in one sentence. It's really hard, but like, what's the grand vision? I would say it's probably the mission statement, but for Kevin.
For me?
Yeah.
Boy. My grand vision is to live a life of growth and contribution at the highest level every single day. I would say love, fulfillment, growth, and contribution at the highest level every day.
Okay.
That's my goal.
And the vision manifested, what does that look like?
You and I traveling around the world, giving speeches to stadiums, having Next Level Universe, a membership model that is Netflix, but personal development for a low price point.
Right.
10 groups of group coaching, 500 plus million downloads.
500 plus million.
500
That's
plus
awesome.
million.
Yeah.
Lewis Howes did it. We can definitely do it.
For sure.
Taryn and I are amazing. 2 children, married, beautiful home, and jacked. I'm jacked.
Yeah, Jack. Think about how clear that is, everyone listening. Like,
And a billionaire.
right?
Billionaire.
Net worth of $1 billion.
I have big dreams. I have
Yeah.
a lot of big ambitions for
Right.
sure.
So okay, that alone, that was very clear. Statistically, that was like 0.001% clarity compared to most, and that's okay. Whatever. Think about how much different Kevin's day-to-day life has to be in order to achieve all that.
Mm.
Like, Kevin can't wake up every day and wing it.
Right.
Unless he chooses not to achieve his vision.
Yeah.
So what people aren't clear on isn't just their vision, it's what the vision will give them. Okay, so that's number one. Second bucket. Second bucket is goals for 2021. Go ahead.
2021, $1 million gross revenue in Next Level University, at least 5 million podcast downloads, and
He's looking over at the whiteboard.
those are the main 2. I would say Taryn and I in a new place.
Yeah.
That's my other one.
For sure. Okay, that's the first 2 buckets. Third bucket, core values.
Oh boy, growth, contribution, honesty, consistency, humility, generosity.
Arrogance. I'm just kidding. You know,
no, of course
you know, I'm joking.
Patience, being heart driven, just being a good human. Like that's my
Right.
down to earth.
But then it goes deeper. You can say being a good human, but then it's like, what do you define that as? Right?
Yeah.
Because someone else's perspective of it. So you have to not only have clarity on I want to be a good human, but then you have to define what does that actually
label.
mean, right? Okay, so far so good. Those are the first 3 buckets, and you're very clear, genuinely, compared to most people that I ask. Fourth and final bucket. Core beliefs. This is where all the rest come from, by the way. I want everyone to understand that.
One of my heavy core beliefs is you don't get what you want, you get what you work for.
Right.
I think I live my life through that lens. That's a core belief. Another core belief I have is if you impact enough people, anything is possible. Everybody is worth it. Like, everybody is worth helping. And I had somebody send me a message and say, like, if I understand if you don't have time. It's like, this is what I do. Like, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
I love when people reach out and send me videos. I love that. That's my jam. Core beliefs.
Everybody's worth it as long as they put in the effort.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
Right.
everybody's worth. You might just need a kick in the butt.
Right.
You might just need that message from me that says, "Hey, I believe in you." That
Right.
that might start for somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's that.
That's a core belief we share. That's the equal opportunity. Notice that? Anyone can reach out and we'll be there to some extent.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, we'd burn right to the ground. If,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Come
one
on
one of my biggest core beliefs is belief is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And without belief, it's so hard for this journey to actually happen. So those would be some of them.
Which one would you say drives you most?
The last one.
Belief is the most important thing.
I write it every day. I want to be able to instill the belief necessary to start. Because if you don't have belief, it's so hard to start. And when you start, if you have somebody in your corner that's pulling for you, it's a lot easier. But you'll get way further than you would have if you didn't start. You know, starting's the hardest part, I think, genuinely. Think about the podcast. Most people just don't start. Like, they want to. Most people don't start going to the gym. You know what I mean? It's the starting that is the hardest for most people. To get the train rolling.
Right. So if you're out there listening to this episode, I want you to rate yourself from 0 to 10 on how clear you are on the following 4 things. Your grand vision. Okay? The metaphor for this is JFK talking about how this decade we're going to the moon. We don't know how yet, but we're doing it. Okay? This decade, what's your grand vision? Okay? For me, for Kevin, it's bringing personal development to the masses. That's why we do what we do every single day. So what's yours? Number 2, what are your goals for 2021? Pick 3. Specific, clear, measurable. Number 3, core values. Pick less than 10, more than 5. Core values. And then number 4, what are your core beliefs? Even if they're not your core beliefs, but they're ones you want. Okay? A core belief, can I believe that anyone can grow and transform? That's a core belief that I have so effing deeply. Even if you don't believe it yet, but you want to believe it, just remember, all behavior is belief driven. If you want to change a behavior, you have to change a belief. If you don't believe in other people, you're not going to pour into them.
Yeah.
Get clear on those 4, and I guarantee you, your behaviors are a byproduct of those. You know, I could have made it 5 buckets, and the last one is like, how clear are you on what behaviors are necessary to stay in alignment? That will come as long as you have the first 4.
We got a lot of buckets.
Yeah, man, we're a couple of buckets.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you know somebody in your life, think of the person right now who you want to help the most. Maybe they lack clarity, maybe they lack accountability, whatever it is. If they struggle with clarity, send them this episode. Because again, one of my beliefs is one thing can change everything.
Literally.
Right? So imagine if you were struggling with clarity and somebody sent this to you and you listened and said, "Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm better than I thought I was. Maybe I'm more clear than I actually thought I was. Or maybe these questions will break something loose." Click the 3 dots, copy a link, send it over to a friend, and let them know you're thinking about them.
I'm going to change this up briefly. I know we got to go. So think of your hero. Think of a hero, fictional or in real life. Honestly, think of a hero in real life. It can be a parent. It can be Oprah, whoever. Think of a hero. At one point, that person was down and out, was called crazy. They were told they were wrong. They were told they couldn't do it. They struggled with self-doubt. They struggled with maybe alcoholism. Maybe they struggled with self-belief. At one point, they were a beginner, just like you.
Oh, yeah.
Why can't you do it too? And I guarantee you that hero would tell you the same. Group coaching. No, seriously? Okay. What would your life be like if you got on a winning team? Think back to your past when you were on a team. Maybe it was cross country or track or field or soccer. What was your life like? Were you more fulfilled? Were you more likely to work hard? Were you willing to do more for others than yourself? That's what group coaching is. We're trying to replicate the environment of success. We're trying to replicate teams of people that hold each other accountable, that are committed to achieving their goals.
I believe we have 3 spots remaining. March 24th, we are starting Group 2. Also, Alan and I are doing speeches virtually all over the place. If you're a teacher and you have students that you want impacted, high school, college, middle school, whatever it is. If you have a corporation or a business and you want to bring in 2 young men who are passionate about what they talk about, we will send out a custom questionnaire. We will take all those answers and form a presentation. Just reach out to Alan, myself, Amy. First one is always free. We look forward to talking to you guys.
Absolutely.
And impacting you. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we appreciate you. So up next, we have an episode. He's actually Brant Pinvidic's coach. I can't never say his name. We actually, so a client of Alan's is working with him, I believe.
Yeah.
Very successful entrepreneur, speaker. He's been an entrepreneur since he was a young buck. And he's definitely going to drop a ton of knowledge.
Absolutely.
We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, we don't have fans. We have family.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.